Welcome back to the channel, guys. Glad to have you here today. In today's video, we're going to continue one of my favorite series, and that is aviary releases. And we're going to do this by releasing a beautiful pair of starfinches. But before we do this, I want to show you guys one of the new projects that I'm working on. Now, I mentioned this in one of my previous videos along with some other projects that I have, but the main focus or the main project that I'm working on right now is trying to finish this website, and it is called paradiseaviaryexotics.com. And what this website is for me to list all of the different species that I breed that are available for sales. So many of you guys have been asking me if I have birds available and what I have available to sell, and this is going to be the perfect place for you guys to go into, check what's available, and purchase straight from there. All right, now back to our video. Now, if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome, and let me give you a bit of background story for this series and where you can find it. It started a while back, and the main purpose for it was to document the release of these birds into my outdoor aviary, showing some of their natural breeding behaviors in a semi-natural environment and giving you, the viewers, some tips and tricks along the way to help you be successful with these species. And so far, I've released a variety of different species into the outdoor aviary, so you can go ahead and check out these playlists where I have a large variety of different birds, anywhere from red-cheeked cordon blues to red-billed firefinches, yellow-winged petilias, twin spots, lavenders, parrot finches, so on and so on. There's a lot of different birds that you can check in this playlist. Go through it and see. But today we're going to be focusing on the starfinches, and these are a beautiful bright green finch with a brilliantly colored face, whether that's red or yellow depending on the mutation, with numerous small white spots along the face, chest, flanks, and base of their tail. This beautiful bird can be found in very large flocks in grasslands and reed beds in northeastern, Western Australia, and Northwestern Territory. This species is very easy to sex by sight. The males, they're going to display a lot more brightness and color on the mask and size of the mask itself on the face when compared to the females. They're going to have a very small mask compared to the males. So by sight, they're very simple. You shouldn't have a hard time sexing or telling the difference between the males and the females. Here in this part of the video, we can appreciate the difference between the two of them. Now, starfinches are very passive species, and they're going to mix well in an outdoor aviary with a variety of other species. They're prolific breeders and will breed year-round if the conditions are correct. I would consider them a great beginner species since they have very few requirements when it comes time to breed. You can easily encourage this species to get into breeding condition by offering them a good seed mix and the occasional sprouted seeds and egg food. Now, although they're not a species that is prone to obesity, it is always best to not feed egg food on a daily basis unless parents have hatched chicks. In my opinion, and one of the best things that I do to get any species into proper breeding condition and avoid those problems that may come with too much egg food like obesity is to give them mainly sprouted seeds. Sprouted seeds are a great source to get your birds into the proper breeding condition because unlike the regular dry seed mix, sprouted seeds are very high in protein, and this is going to help these birds get into the proper breeding condition. Now, once the males have finished building their nest, once they're in proper breeding condition and they finish building their nest, copulation is going to take place with the females, and these females are going to lay anywhere between 4 to 7 white eggs, which both sexes will incubate for about 14 to 15 days before the young chicks hatch. Now, one big side note, you're going to have to resist the urge to want to check these nests, whether you're doing this in a cage or you're doing it in an outdoor aviary. I know we all go through this. We know that they built the nest. We know that there has to be eggs in there, and we can't stop that urge to want to check these nests. You have to stop that urge, especially with starfinches. Now, all of them are not the same. You may have a pair that is more accepting to you checking the nest, but the majority of them do not allow this interference of you checking the nest. Most females will often abandon a nest after you do a nest inspection. In fact, I've noticed that a lot of females, if you check the nest prior to them finishing their clutch, they may end up laying the remaining eggs somewhere else, whether that's at the bottom of your cage or somewhere on the aviary floor if you have them in an aviary or in a different nest. It makes them go crazy when you check their nest, so avoid it at all costs. Try to just be patient and let them do their own thing. Now, if you can manage to be patient enough and not interfere with their nest, and these chicks hatch, once they hatch, you're gonna notice that the parents' desire for live food is gonna become very apparent as they scavenge throughout the aviary floor looking for small insects to feed their young. But you shouldn't get discouraged if you can't give them live food, as many of these pairs are going to raise their young with other sources of protein like I mentioned before, like egg food and sprouted seeds. Once you know that the chicks have hatched, this is the perfect time to start incorporating these sources of protein into the cage or into the aviary for them to offer it to their young. So make sure that you give it to them on a daily basis, whether that's egg food, sprouted seeds, or a mixture of both. Personally, what I like to do is I give egg food early in the morning, and then in the evenings, I give them the sprouted seeds. Remember that, like with many other species, the first few days are very crucial after those chicks hatch, and giving them this constant supply of egg food and sprouted seeds could make the difference between them tossing or feeding their young. Most often than not, when food is plentiful, their success rate is going to be higher. Now, once the young chicks are about 15 to 20 days old, they're going to be ready to leave that nest. Once they leave this nest, they're going to rely on their parents for food until they're around 45 to 50 days old. Then by this time, they're going to be completely independent, eating on their own, and you can go ahead and separate them from the parents, or you can go ahead and leave them in there depending on what your choice is. This species is not very aggressive towards their young, so you can leave it longer times with the parents and it's not going to affect the chicks. Unlike with other species that may tend to be a bit more aggressive, and males will chase the young away to start their second or third nest, depending on which cycle this is. All right, guys, well, this is going to be the end of another video. I really hope that you've enjoyed this aviary release video. We hadn't done one in a while, and I'm glad we got a chance to do another one. There are other videos coming, other aviary release videos. You probably already know this since you've seen that there are 2 other species in this aviary that have not had an aviary release video. So soon I will get to those. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the video. Like always, if you did, remember to hit the like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. I say this every video. Every single subscription that you guys give me helps the channel out and it supports me. So if you've enjoyed it, like always, subscribe. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and we will see each other in the next video.